Hey guys, and welcome to Little Blackburn 91. I am behind the scenes today. I haven't got my camera on. That's a madness. I probably should put my camera on. But I'm talking to you guys really quickly about this Marshall situation. I'll put my camera on so you guys can actually see. Um, because I felt like I needed to address it again, right? Because I get it. Some people didn't understand the first time round why I did it. And some people didn't agree. And we had some conversations in the comment section, and I totally understand and I totally get it, right? Don't watch this. I'm about to go out, so don't watch this. Okay. So I spoke about this Marshall situation. He actually apologized again. So just to kind of clear it up again, let's look at the apology, the second apology that he brought to the table. Okay. Right. And I'm going to say this. Okay. The second apology isn't really giving. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be a little bit annoyed at me. They're going to be like, isn't it enough? I mean, he's apologized. He said, I apologize. What more do you want from him? And my biggest thing is this. Number one, is 2 days late to the original tweets that you put out. Number two is a montage. So it's actually going to explain the apology. And you're going to see why I felt like the apology was a little bit sussy when I break it down. And I think that, we have to be honest, right? We have to be honest. Sometimes when people do stuff, we got to correct them in real time so they don't do it again, right? If we don't correct them in real time, what will happen is, right, we'll say, oh no, it's okay, they've apologized a little bit, no, but it wasn't sufficient, right? So we got to make sure you know exactly why you're here and why these tweets were unacceptable, right? And it's kind of funny because I'm looking at a situation, you got black people around you, you got black mama, black friends, and you don't realize the impact it's made. The apology is almost forced, right? I spoke about Jacqueline's apology. I said about her apology only came because Marshall decided to apologize, or at least Marshall decided to say what he said on the show, proving that she was right. And then suddenly she wanted to apologize. So we spoke about Jacqueline, so we don't have to talk about her again. We're talking about Marshall right now, right? And so this particular apology, this is a second apology. I just want to break it down for you because when I read it at first, I was like, okay. So here's the apology. It says, please allow me the space to, again, take accountability for those tweets from 2014 and earlier. 2023, Marshall was ashamed of the younger, less developed and immature version who published those tweets. This time, let me direct a public apology to some of the phenomenal black women in my life. Let this be an apology to all incredible black women around the globe. Okay. Let's just start at the very top. Okay. Let's just start at the very top. Okay. I want to just be able to, okay, break this down. So anybody who doesn't understand this, who doesn't fully understand why I was hot the first time and why I'm going to be hot again the second time on just breaking it down and just hoping that you understand and making it slow so you can deep what's being said. Okay. All right, cool. So, all right. Look at this apology. First and foremost, right? Please allow me the space to again take accountability for those tweets from 2014 earlier. Let's pause there. The only reason why you are apologizing now in this particular format in this way is because the first apology wasn't an apology. So you're not taking accountability the first time. So it's not again. So already he's already given me attitude. Look, I know you might not, hey, listen, he's already given me attitude as if he's apologized the first time. You didn't apologize the first time. You didn't, right? So it's not again. You're not addressing this again, okay? Right? You're not taking accountability again because you didn't take accountability the first time. The first time, what you did was you placed yourself in a position where you elevated yourself and said, I've grown. That wasn't taking accountability, right? You don't even know what you're apologizing for, right? This is why I have an issue with some of these apologies, because what are you apologizing for? I asked some people in the chat, in the comment section of that last video, I said, do you know what he's apologizing for? If you don't know what he's apologizing for, then he hasn't apologized. Right? So when you apologize, you let me know what you're apologizing for. You just saying, I apologize to this set of people, I'm sorry, actually doesn't bring an apology. If you don't know what you're apologizing for, it's like me saying, I apologize for everything. So just accept it. I said sorry for everything. Well, if you said sorry for everything, what are you talking about? What specifically are you actually apologizing for? Right? So I'm pointing this out so that when other people also do it to you, you now know what's a real apology. And when you do it too, you know what's a real apology too. This is not a real apology. This is a forced apology. This is an apology that said, someone said to Marshall, this don't look good, PR-wise stunt. Just apologize. Just say, I'm sorry. Right? So please allow me the space to, again, take accountability for those tweets from 2014. You never took it the first time. Now, this is where I was like, oh. This is where I was like, oh. Okay. Look at this now. I was like, wait, hold on a minute. What's going on here? Okay. So he says this, 2023 Marshall is ashamed of younger, less developed, immature version who published those tweets. Anybody notice what's in that particular paragraph? Anybody notice something a bit odd with that paragraph? Just take your time to read it again. All right? Who is ashamed? Right? Who's ashamed? Just read it again and deep it. If you can give me some answers in the chat, so we can know that we're on the same plane here, right? 2023 Marshall, okay, has apologized, but who? Why is he in third person? Exactly. Why is he in third person? Why is he apologizing in third person? Talking about 2023 Marshall is ashamed of the younger, less developed, immature version published those tweets. You cannot separate yourself from your younger self. It's you. Right? It's you. And this is why I'm trying to say that, again, does he fully understand? Or is he just apologizing? Right? So who's apologizing? Because clearly it's not you. You're saying 2023 Marshall was ashamed of the younger, less developed, immature version who published those tweets. So it's not you. It's another version of you. But it actually is you. And this is why I'm saying again once more about apologies. Where are they coming from? Right? Where's it coming from? Now, I'd like to challenge what some people are saying, because I've heard some of this before. Let him be. Everyone makes mistakes. But he's making it now. He's not making it in when he's 11. He's not making it when he's 14. He's addressing this right now, Black Queen. So when you're saying let him be, what you're really saying is, I'm tired of having to fight. Don't worry about being tired. I got you. You don't have to fight. You sit down. I got you. Right? I'll call it out. Don't worry about that. I'm not asking you to fight. But what we're not going to do is minimalize it. Right? What we're not going to do is minimalize what he's actually doing right now. Because it's 2023 and he's apologizing for something that happened in the past that he did, right? And we're not going to say, oh, just let him be. Mistakes happen. Everyone does mistakes. No, they do. So when you're apologizing, I've got to assess what kind of apology you're giving me, right? Do you see what I'm saying to you? So what you're not realizing is you're not looking at it on a deeper plane and level. And someone just pointed out, A-Star just pointed it out. He switches back to first person when he says, this time, let me direct a public apology. What he's doing is he's separating himself from that previous version of himself. And what he's trying to say is, it's not me. It is you. Right? It is you. It's no one else. It's like me saying, let me apologize for Kojo in 2022. Yeah, let me apologize for Kojo in 2022. 2022 Kojo is ashamed because when I did what I did to Kayla, when I did what I did to Kayla, you know, I was less developed. I had trauma. I had this. When you start separating yourself from the actual person who did it, you're really saying it's not me. And actually, you're not taking accountability at all. Right? You're not taking any accountability at all. And this is why I'm saying, have you grown? Because if you have, this should have been a clear indication through your apology. And we could have been like, you know what? We get it. Fine, move on. But you went from third person when you're addressing your actual issues to first person when you actually want to direct an apology to some of the phenomenal women in your life. Now, deep this, pay attention because the switch is on purpose. The 2023 is saying separating the shame and the guilt that I feel for that action I did for those women on the public aspect. But when I'm addressing my very people that are closest to me, I'm going to switch it to first person because this I really mean. This time, let me direct a public apology to some of the phenomenal black women in my life. Yeah, he's gonna apologize to people, right? Of course, he's switching to first person now because the people in your life. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you, Black Queen, I appreciate you. The reason why this is deeper than it actually, and I said this to another person in the comment section, people don't think this is deep because it's not racism, right? Racism, we all have the history of racism. We know what it looks like. But listen, I have siblings, I have younger sisters, I've spoke to black women, the men, and obviously being somebody who's empathetic, you don't know. Listen, I wasn't. Let me show you. In fact, I'm going to show you something. I was on Twitter on those times, 2011, 2012, 13. I actually went back into my tweets. I want to show you some of the tweets that I was tweeting in that time, right? Because I was aware of what was happening in that time. Right? I was 2012, I was 11 years ago. So just about 20 almost, 19, 2012, 18, 19, 20, right? So that was me, right? And I went through to see some of my comments that I did in 2012, 2011. And you can have a look at some of my tweets, right? Just to show you how this is why I said it's deep, because I remember what was going on. I remember exactly what was happening on Twitter at the time. It was disgusting. It was horrible. And it was detrimental to a black woman's mental health. Coming up on Twitter and you're always the butt of jokes. Coming up on Twitter and people are always talking about how ugly you are, comparing you to monkeys, comparing you to gorillas, comparing you to how that you're not worthy, you're not valuable. I'm gonna show you my tweets, right? I wasn't tweeting that, so I'm gonna tell you the truth. I wasn't tweeting that. I was aware of what was happening. I wasn't tweeting that, right? I wasn't tweeting that because I wasn't my MO, right? Because I remember, and this is what happened. Look at one of my tweets, 2013. I don't get the black girl insults tweets. This is what I'm talking about with some black men. You forget your dad and your mummy's black. This 2013. I still believe slavery still influences the black race. Black males will make bare excuses about why they won't date a black female. Yada, 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 yawn. Right? Black females have been loyal to black men for time, but alas, the time has arrived when they say F a black man. Well, I mean, I didn't mean to prophesy, but we're here now, so they're divesting. So I wasn't lying. Dear Gabby, this is Gabrielle Union. I'm fully hurt by your refusal to follow me back. You're still my number 3 all-time black beauty. Follow back in your number 1, right? No black girl has ruined anything for me, so I really can't even join in, right? Because there was a lot of stuff that was going on at the time on Twitter that was absolutely madness. Black men out here just tweeting absolute disgusting stuff. When I was on there and I couldn't believe some of the stuff people were tweeting. All in the name of humor, fun, and really and truly it was destructive. And so when we say it's not that deep, you can't say that. Quite frankly, if you're not affected by it, Black Queen, I hear you, but a lot of people were affected at the time. A lot of people were affected who couldn't come onto a platform without seeing something that tore them down. So we cannot say it don't mean nothing. Just like when a racist calls somebody a nigger or a white person starts making black stereotypes and tropes about us that are negative, we can't just say it doesn't mean nothing. Right? And that's fair. That's Black Queen. And again, that's fair, Black Queen. I appreciate that for the honesty. So I appreciate you, sis, for the honesty. And I think this is why I'm saying it so passionately. I remember seeing it with my own eyes. I was having battles with people, having conversations about why black men wouldn't date black women as a teenager, right? You know what I mean? So honestly, when people were coming onto Twitter at that time, it was horrific, right? It's horrific. You got a taster when you came onto Clubhouse. If anybody went into Clubhouse in 2020 during the pandemic, if you went onto Clubhouse during the pandemic, it was similar to 2012, 2013, 2014 Twitter. Just black men everywhere, just saying absolute nonsense. And again, it's not all black men. It's just too many black men that have a big enough mouth and too much talk who can drop some bars about black women that was unfounded, okay, and based upon their own prejudice and their own misogynoir, okay? So I'm not telling you something that wasn't happening. It was happening. I saw it. I went into, listen, I got Clubhouse late, right? I got onto Clubhouse late. And when I got on there, I was like, is this what Clubhouse is? Every room I go into that talks about relationship, it ends up being some black man talking about black women and how trash they are, about their weaves, about how ugly they are. And this is not to say, by the way, let me be fair, this is not to say there weren't women doing some crazy things. I encountered some myself, right? I had some disrespectful conversations with some black women. Don't get it twisted. But I'm just saying, again, it reiterates a point of what I'm saying. It is not isolated to being about someone just tweeted it. It's not that deep, right? It's not that deep. It may not seem that deep because it's one person doing this, or because we like Marshall. I actually like Marshall. I actually think Marshall's really cool. I think he's a great guy. But we got to be real, right? We got to be real. Okay? We got to be real. Okay? So, again, it seems so simple. It seems so like, let's get over it, etc. But no one's killing him. No one's killing him. No one's killing him. What we're saying is be accountable. Right? No one's even killing Marshall. We're saying be accountable for what you said. Now let's have a little look at this video because he posted it up. Let me put it up. Sorry, I put it on the wrong, not the wrong thing, but let me go back to. So this was a video that I think he put up on Instagram, but I never saw it. It was a day yesterday, and this is the video. So he posts up his apology. So he's posts up apology number. I think apology one. He goes, first, my beautiful best friend, sister, who have stuck by my big head since kindergarten. I apologize. Okay, you put that there. Jen, you see me at my worst and my best. I apologize. Okay. Puts another thing here. Oh, let me go back so you can see it. Sorry, let me go back. All right. Something about when I didn't have any friends, I felt isolated. I apologize. Okay. Alana, Ashley, Nina, my big cousins who have had an integral role in molding myself and all the young men in our family, I apologize. Okay. All right. Morgan, my sister, you've been an incredible inspirational role model for me in my entire life. I apologize. Okay. You never raised me to speak this way. I like I did in the tweets. You would have been ashamed of me for much of my personal growth I owed to you and your unconditional support. I apologize. Now, notice here when he's talking about mum, is he doing third person here? You never raised Marshall in that particular way. He never did that. It's such an unintentional, it's such a subconscious thing. Oftentimes when I'm talking about these situations, I'm talking about the subconsciousness and what's working. So the subconsciousness begins to inform the consciousness. So even though for someone else might read it, be like, oh, he's apologized. I'm looking at it deeper going, what does the subconscious actually say? Because you presented Marshall did this, but none of those apologies that he put there were anything to do with, well, Marshall said this. No. It's very personal and very to him because he means what he says there. Now, I mean, personally, like I said, I don't know what he's apologizing for. What is he apologizing for? My question is, what is he apologizing for? What is he apologizing for? Do you know? If you can put it in the chat, tell me what he's apologizing for. If anybody can tell me what he's, what he's apologizing for, I'll be happy. Right? What is he apologizing for? Right? He's not apologizing for what he actually did. He's just apologizing to get us off his back. He's apologizing because maybe they told him, Marshall, apologize. Oh, Marshall, we know you, so just apologize. But nothing he's actually saying. What is he apologizing for? Because I don't know. I'm apologizing to all the beautiful black women in my life. Okay, for what? For 2004. What was wrong with 2004? Because he never told us what was wrong with 2004. He never spoke about the impact of 2004. He never spoke about how it might have been harmful. He never said anything about actually 2004. What is he apologizing for? I don't know. Barter's eye said his thoughts on black women in general. Is he? I don't know. What is it specifically? We don't know. So the problem that is the biggest problem. So if anyone tries to apologize to you and they say, "I'm so sorry," for what? Oh, don't be difficult, man. Come on. Don't be difficult. Like, just I've apologized. I've said I'm sorry. No. For what? But I've said sorry for everything. I apologize. No. For what though? So I know that. So I know what you're actually apologizing for. What specifically are you apologizing for? So I know where you stand. Just I don't want to misquote the apology. You know what I mean? I want to make sure you know where my pain point is. So what are you apologizing for? Okay. Look at Jade moving mad in the dunya. So that's why I was on his neck about the situation, right? I just feel like there is, although he's apologizing, we don't know what he's apologizing for. Therefore, I personally, I wouldn't, and it's not even up to me. I'm not even a black woman, but I'm saying that from a perspective looking in for somebody to say they're apologizing, this isn't an apology. This isn't an apology, and you don't need a PR to do this kind of apology, right? And that's the truth, El said. The apology is so that we can see him again. It's so we can see him in a good light again. It's so he doesn't lose the good boy status, the nice guy status. That's what he's apologizing for, really. You know what I mean? So just in case anybody out there felt that they wanted to say, I'm doing too much or they don't understand, I want you to understand that you must look deeper. When people are apologizing, you must know what they're apologizing for. If you can't tell me what he's apologizing for and he doesn't know what he's apologizing for, how am I supposed to know that you're apologizing for something? Right? And again, the apology is not for me. I am not a black woman. Okay? So the apology is not for me. The apology is not for me. The apology is for black women. And I'm saying to you that you tweeted it. So you should be able to tell them what you're sorry for. Okay? You should be able to do that. Anyway, guys, that's all. Hopefully people will understand that and people will get it. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So we can't say anything more. So like, share, subscribe, guys. Click on the bell button for notification uploads. Honestly, we appreciate you. Stay locked and stay loaded. We'll see you again very, very soon. Okay. All right. So